I have Bobby with me. Bobby, my friend, thank you for joining me.
Hey, Luke. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely, dude. I always enjoy talking with my friend Bobby. Bobby is in our Ascension program, and he's been with us now for several months and have met. Shoot, we've met each other, I think, at two boardrooms now. Has it been two boardrooms?
Just the one, but
Just the
very
one?
soon. Yeah,
Oh,
just the
man.
one,
Maybe,
but it
I'm
feels
just
like
excited for the next one, apparently.
there you go. Feels
It
like it's been forever.
feels like it's been forever. It's one of those connections when you meet people and you're like, yeah, this is my person. Like, yeah, this is good. So Bobby has agreed to come on and chat for a few. Anybody that's watched some of the other testimonials or interviews I've done, like I try and keep these conversational because the whole point is to feature our people because the whole goal is to inspire you guys. Bobby has been a great member. He's taken things so seriously in the program, coming over to the boardroom event in Ohio, and just incredibly proud of you, dude. Seriously, you and
I
your wife
appreciate
both.
that, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Means a lot.
So I would love to hear a little bit about what got you into real estate in the beginning.
Okay. Yeah. So
Like
that was
why real estate? Why did you pick real estate and what did you jump into?
yeah. So let's see. We started 7 years ago, kind of by accident. I was somewhat interested in it, because I knew you could like make a lot of money in real estate. That's how you get rich. So it was always one of those things I was so aware of, but
Yeah.
we had a house up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Mhm.
Um, it was our starter home, our first home that we bought. I think we paid $127,000 for it.
Yep.
It was this little itty bitty starter home for us and the kids.
Yep.
There was a lot of things that it needed. Had a lot of good things going for it. Good location, um, just great amenities around the area, but it needed some work. So I didn't really do a whole lot of the work, but we ended up fixing it up. I hired a guy, and
Yep.
we had owned it for a couple of years, um, and we knew that we were going to move back down south to where her parents were. So
Yep.
uh, we thought we'd give the landlording thing a try and let them pay for the mortgage a couple of times, a couple of years,
Not a
and
bad
so that
idea.
worked out. Yeah, it worked out really well. So they paid down the mortgage a little bit more for us, and then when it was time for us to sell, we did the rest of the repairs that we felt needed to be done to the house. We added a bathroom, closed up some drywall in the basement, made it really look nice, and I think we ended up selling it for around 185,000 after about 4.5 years of owning it. So ended up working out really well for us.
Nice. And
Yep.
then that launched you into what was the next phase? Because I know you've done a few different things in real estate, but I don't want to put the cart before the horse. So what was next after that?
Yeah. Okay. So that really kind of propelled me into what's possible,
Mm,
because making that kind of money, um, outside of just selling ice cream sandwiches or hamburgers or something, it wasn't something that I knew was possible. So I
yeah,
wanted to see if I could do it again.
it became real.
Um, yep.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
so
with that house and renting it out, that's where real estate became real for you, I'm guessing.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I knew that there was something more to it, and I was willing to play the game a little bit more. So we basically rolled the dice again on 3 properties. I thought I was going all in. I got 3 properties all at once, basically, and um, one of them I did pretty well on. It was kind of a dumb move in hindsight. I still made money on it. I picked kind of it was an okay area,
Sure.
but I got it for so cheap. I thought, well, I can't fail possibly. When you're buying a house for less than 20 grand, what
Ooh,
could go
yeah.
wrong? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, as it turns out, lots of things could go wrong when you buy a $20,000 house. The good news was I knew that it needed everything.
Yeah.
So that was the nice thing. I kind of knew that I was going to need all of it. Um, but yeah, I learned a lot going through that process.
Oh, I would imagine.
Just the do's and don'ts,
Yep.
with hiring people, with how to do a flip. We're gonna flip this thing, or we're gonna burr it, or what are we gonna do with this thing? We're gonna rent it out. There was just too many questions, and I didn't get clear. And I think all that lack of clarity
Yes.
Kept us from doing better than what we could have. And yeah, so I mean that through that process, we made a little bit of money on it.
And learn a lot.
I don't know that we made as much as the first one that we did. The second house we did, that one went a little bit better.
Yep.
Still have that house today. That was a nice burr deal.
Sure.
$0 into that house. It felt good doing that. And there was still lots of skin knees on that. Still made mistakes.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
that was
That
good.
happens.
Again, had to learn some more lessons with that. And then the third house, that was, I don't know if that was an absolute disaster, but like I spent a lot of time going back and fixing stuff over and over again. Went through several different contractors on that because everybody had their own vision of what needed to be done. And really the house just needed to be torn down. And I didn't realize that at the time. So I just kept trying to fix all the things. So it ended up costing more than I thought it was going to. But that house did really well too. That's a burp as well. Still have that. So, and then I did that took me probably 2 years to get through that process.
Yep.
Through those 3 properties, that was a bit of a grind because I think I was a little overly ambitious, or I had high expectations of what I could do.
I mean, that seems in alignment with, hey, I took a couple houses that I knew needed everything, and I did
Yeah.
everything. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, we got this.
I mean,
We're good.
Only where else to go is up from here.
That's
so,
right. Exactly.
and then back in COVID time, like 2020, I was basically furloughed from my employer, and I had extra spare time, and so I thought, okay, well, I've got all this free time. What can I do with it? You know, so for me, COVID was a huge opportunity
Yeah.
to invest in myself
Yeah.
and to really just go to war and basically try to make a trail, blaze a trail for myself. And so I buddied up with some guys, did some wholesaling, did a little more flips, did a little more buy and holds, and then spent 2 years with some partners, basically doing what I thought was a lot of work, tremendous amount of work, dozens and dozens and dozens of wholesaling, wholetailing, flipping, and then holding.
All the transactional stuff.
Yep, doing all of it. So
Yep. Yeah.
felt like I was doing a lot of stuff, and it was exhausting. So doing a ton of work, just trying to get out there and make a mess of things, and definitely made money, made a ridiculous amount of mistakes. We got through it. I got through it.
Yeah.
And through that process, I was introduced through another Ascension member, Rob St. John.
That's right.
And Rob talked up the kingdom, and I thought, well, okay, there's a lot of gurus out there. So
We'll see.
Yeah. So, kind of dated a little bit, just trying it out and got to know people, and the dating got serious. And so, right. So I made the commitment to join Ascension, and I was graciously accepted into the program. So that's pretty much how I got here today.
I love it, dude. I love it. I love it. And it has been really cool to see you come in. And I mean, one, love Rob. So when Rob was like, yo, I got this guy, I'm like, and it must be a good guy. And then when you came in and we got to talk and everything like that, and hearing your story and hearing like everything you guys are trying to do and your family and all of that, and even meeting your wife, so cool. And it has been an absolute pleasure just watching you grow and getting the clarity for the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Like that has been so much fun for me personally to see, like, okay, you have all this experience, you have all this skill set, and you're coming out of this season of going like, okay, I've done all of this. Now what?
That's right.
and really building that next level
Mhm.
is so cool, dude. Like, because I know one thing you didn't touch on was like the funding side. Like, you really like the funding and the private money side of things as well.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you're being very humble with some of the things you're saying, because I know how much work truly went into some of those things, and even things that haven't even been mentioned, that
Mhm.
skills that you have built. So going forward in the next season is going to be very cool, and it has been very cool to see where you're like, okay, I can move this here, I can move this here. These are this is the move I need to make for my family on business. This is the move I need to make personally. It's been very cool. So I say all that because I just want to reiterate how proud I am of how much work you're putting in now, and how seriously you take everything that's coming from the mentorship team and the content and all of that. So my hat's off to you, sir.
Luke, thanks, man. And I got to give you guys credit too, because you have been um, basically like a lighthouse for me.
Mm.
In a lot of times where I'm just like, well, not sure exactly where I'm supposed to be going here, but I don't want to like basically sail this ship into a bunch of rocks. So that would be helpful too.
Right.
But I definitely want to get the boat going.
Yes.
And so you guys have been absolutely phenomenal in terms of supporting me and my family and my mission.
Yeah.
You guys have been available and in so many ways where there was a timely answer to something that I needed, a prayer that needed to be answered. And I can't thank you guys enough. I mean, you guys have been tremendous in terms of supporting my mission and what I'm trying to build and accomplish. And the private money and the private lending is something that I'm very passionate about,
Yes.
but the reasons behind it are even greater.
Yes.
And so for anybody who's listening to this, that's my encouragement to you, is to just drill down super deep on why it is you're trying to build what you're trying to build, because that's more that will do more for you than anything else. There's no hacks, no gimmicks that are gonna save you. There's no secret riddle codex message you need to solve.
Yeah.
You just need to be super aware of yourself
Mhm.
and what it is that you're trying to do, and make sure that it doesn't come at the expense of other things.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
That, I mean, 100%. That's exactly it right there. Because once you figured that out for yourself, and we've had conversations about this, where you're like, this is what's for me and my family. This is what I'm building. This is my why. This is my drive, whatever you want to call it. Like, everything has started that doesn't align with that has started to just fall away for you.
Yep.
And it's just
Very
like
much
piece
so.
by piece. It's just like, and apparently that wasn't a part of the mission anymore. Okay, that's gone. Oh, this one's not a problem. This one's going away. Okay, and this one's going away. Okay, we're just constantly refining and getting super, super focused, which is why I say it's exciting, because it's cool to see like this is the destination that you and your family are headed. And that's why I say you're taking it so seriously, because you're able to shed and say no to the things that you've done in the past that no longer align.
Easier said than done, Luke.
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
True fact, right?
Yeah.
Truth.
Yeah. Especially, it seems like you know how to execute and make a decision over here.
Yeah.
It's very easy to, keep going in that direction. It's
Yes.
very difficult to say no and get serious about what you're trying to do.
Especially when you're talking about like different business strategies and things like that you're used to operating in. Because like you said in your story, like you've had multiple, you've done a lot of different things in real estate, but not all of them align with the direction you're going anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so shedding those away when you're already used to being in those strategies and operating in that way, that's hard, because you're like, but I know I can make this work because I've been making it work.
That's right.
But now it's like, okay, I'm walking in faith a little bit here, because now I'm moving in a different direction, or I'm putting more focus on a different area. Yeah.
Better said than me. Very well said. Appreciate it.
That
Took the
just
words
comes
out of
from
my
you and
mouth and made them better, and then packaged it, and now it looks even better than I could have said. So
I just have had a lot of conversations with you, and it's cool to be able to know your situation and know like where you're headed, which is cool. So
yeah.
I'm very excited for people to be able to watch this. The last question I have for you is, and you actually kind of touched on this already a little bit, but if someone was looking to join the kingdom, one of our programs, and they're like, I'm ready to invest in myself. I know I need the support. I'm ready to do it, but I'm scared of the unknown, or maybe they're going through something like you, where you're like, who are these guys? Like, are they the legit? What would you say to somebody like that?
Right. I tell that person to trust their gut, first of all, you know.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I feel like trust is a muscle that needs to be exercised. And it's
Yeah.
if you don't, people are gonna walk all over you. And you can't just give that out freely, right?
Yeah.
So I think that it's perfectly fine to trust and test and measure an opportunity and see if it's a worthwhile thing. For me, I have absolutely zero regrets in my decision.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm excited to help the next person in that journey. And if they can look at me as an example of somebody who is willing to take action in the midst of a lot of uncertainty, because I certainly didn't have all of the information. In fact, I never planned to. Right? I don't need all of the information to make the decision. Right.
Right.
But there's certain components where I know deep down in my soul whether or not that's a good decision or not. So
Sure.
I would say just trust that.
Yeah.
Maybe that means joining, and maybe it doesn't. But for me, it meant joining.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did, and I would say it's based on what we've talked about today and other times. Seems like it's been a good decision for you as well, like you said, and I'm looking forward to being able to do this for a very long time with you, my friend. Truly.
All right. No finish line.
No finish line. That's right. That's right. It's the infinite game, and if you have no idea what we're talking about, you'll find out soon enough. Don't worry.
That's right.
We are playing the infinite game. So, Bobby, super excited for you. Thank you for taking the time. Even though I know you're traveling and doing all the things, like I think you're in an airport right now, but I appreciate you taking the time to do this, my friend. And I love you, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
You too, Luke. Thanks for having me.
Of course. See you soon.
Talk to you soon.